Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a beginner's coloring tutorial for kind of like how to improve straight coloring, which means you just color, without doing anything. You're just coloring the whole item in a marker usually. And I'm going to show you how to improve on that and how to do it better. So I'm just using some cheap water-based markers. This is by Flomo Creative. I got it at a discount store for $10, and what I liked about it is that they have a brush tip, one side. The other side is chisel. I don't really use that side, but you could, but I'm using it. I got it for the brush tips, and they're nice and compact. I numbered them so that I could swatch them. Very important to swatch water-based markers. So all I did here is basically just straight coloring. So now I'm going to show you how we're going to go in and improve that. So I'm going to bring you in closer. First thing I am doing is I have a fine liner here, and I will be doing a fine liner video, but you're getting a sneak peek. So instead of taking pencil just into the small crevices, I am going to do fine liner in all these small crevices, because anyway, I want to go with pencil. So instead of sharpening my pencil a million times, I'm using a fine liner. Now where I'm doing it is to define kind of like the edges of stuff. So you could see right here, especially where these flowers are against the background. So right here I have one that is against the background. And all I'm doing is kind of going in here, and because it's very dark. So I am going to do that and then come back. Okay, now I'm going to go in with some pencils. I'm using Prismacolor, but you can use whatever you have. It doesn't matter. And I have a purple, a bluish, and a black. So we'll see. We're going to play around with it. I'm going to start with the purple. It's called Violet. But I am basically going in here and adding darkness. Now what this does is it makes this pop out. So even though I did straight coloring all in the background, it's just one color of water-based marker, we can really add depth with pencil. So it doesn't matter, whatever pencil you have. Now, one of the keys is to use lighter colors when you're basing. So try to get your light colors, your pastel, the lightest colors that you have in your marker sets, and try to base with that, and that'll give you more wiggle room to add, like shading and stuff later on. Now, I will do a video on how to improve straight coloring with dark colors, but for now, try to base with light as much as you can, and that'll give you more options when you're going in with pencil. You see what I'm doing here? So I'm just going in with pencil. Now I'm going to take my blue and play around and add a little bit of blue also. And I'm going basically I'm going along the borders of the stuff. You see how I'm going around all this, and that will make it pop out against this background. So I will speed you up now. So there we go. I hope you can see now that these pop out a lot more against the background than they did before, just by using some pencil on top. And we cheated a little bit with some fine liners. You don't have to use the fine liners. You can just sharpen your pencil, you know, really well to get in there. But I do like to cheat sometimes. So now what we're gonna do is, I'll just do one. And I am gonna base my, these petals, not all the way to the end. That's a hack for you guys, but leaving a little bit of white. If you didn't want to do this, you can go in later with like an acrylic marker and add some more highlight, but when you're basing, try to leave a little bit of white wherever the edge is. So the darker part is gonna be in the bottom, and then the lighter is gonna be on the top. So that's why I'm leaving white at the top. So just not being too precious about it, because I am gonna go over with pencil on top. So I'm gonna base that and come back. Okay, so I'm gonna go in now with some fine liners just to speed it up. If you don't have fine liners, just use pencil. And I'm using just to add that darkness. See what I'm doing in the bottom here. And I'm creating, so like this petal is behind this one. So you're gonna put a little bit of shading over here to make it look like that. And this is inside, so we're gonna add some shading there. This one looks like it's a little bit on top of that one. So I'm just gonna show you, because watching is the best way to learn. And just kind of try to see where I'm adding the shading. See how this one is a little bit behind that one? So you do it along that line, and that makes it even more pop, like it's behind it. Forgot to say what book I'm in. I'm in Garden Enchantments, and it's part of my entire book whip project, where I'm sure many of you have seen my coloring update, but if you didn't, I'm just coloring whatever I want in the book, and the entire book is like a work in progress. So I just go in and color whatever I feel like. So I kind of felt like using up, I needed this pink color is a marker that, it's an acrylic marker where the brush pen is completely dry. So I wanted to just use up this end a little bit. So it's like more of like a use it up kind of color. So that's the reason I chose that page. I just flipped through and found a page where I wanted to use up the color, the marker. Okay, so now I see here that I didn't, let me base that really quickly here. Now, usually it's a good idea to let a water-based marker dry a little bit before you layer them, because it wets the paper. So be careful, but this paper is pretty thick, so I can do it. If you have thin paper, you want to wait between layers, because the fine liners are also water-based. Okay, so now, let me see. I'm trying to figure out what color I want to do. No, that's not good. It's a dark. Let's try. I wanted to go more orangey, yeah. So instead of using this, I'm just going to go in with a pencil. And I'm going to add orange. This is just for my, whatever's on my desk here. It's a little bit bright. So I'm going to darken it up with some ochre. There we go. So let me actually go in with the ochre first. So now I'm just going in a gradient. I'm picking my darkest, my next darkest, which is this one, and I'm going in like that. And I will be adding a little orange. I don't like this orange. It's just your primary orange. I prefer a more yellowy orange, so let me see. I'm going to see if I can find one. See what I'm doing here? I'm just going in and adding the next darkest right next to the fine liner. And these are all behind, so I'm going to add a lot of dark here. Okay, now let me see. Should I add a little orange? This is a yellowy, an orangey yellow. So we're going to go on top of the ochre. Like this. And oops, I didn't add ochre here. See how I'm just building it up? I'm not going all the way, I'm going in like this. And I think I will add a little more darkness here because this is behind. So usually whatever is behind something else, you want to make that darker. Now you can layer a little if you want to change the color. I wanted it to be a little bit more orangey. So I'm going to add a little bit of orange here on the bottom. I'm too lazy to get a different orange, so I'm just going to use this orange. But usually I would go for like a little bit of a darker orange for the bottom part here, but that's okay. You can play around and experiment with different colors, but so you see how that is much better. Now I have another yellow here that I could go, but I already have, like, I don't think it needs it. I'll add it anyway, just a little bit here. It doesn't really need it that much, but just at the border of the darker yellowy orange and the basing of the water-based marker. Okay, see how that looks so much better than just straight coloring with just yellow and leaving it like that. Now I'm gonna, to give it that extra something, I am gonna go in with my white paint pen. And you could do like a gold gel pen if you don't have that, or whatever you have, just to kind of cover this black line, and it just gives it a little something extra. Even if you didn't have a white paint pen, you could do like a gold or a yellow or any color that will cover the black line. Will actually make it look pretty good. So you see how we improved that straight coloring? And then we're going to do the same thing with the pink. This is an extra step that you don't have to do. You don't have to cover the black lines. I just ended up doing the white tip there with white, and then I'm doing with the yellow the lower part of the petal. Let's see, right here. Anywhere else? Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now we're gonna do the pink part. Okay, so for the pink, I'm gonna start with a fine liner. Again, you don't have to, you could use a pencil, but I'm going in here for the extra darkness at the base. And see how this petal is behind this? So you're going to want to go right at that edge there to create the effect even more, to make it pop. And then here, just a little bit at the base. You could also do this with a gel pen, pencil, whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay, see how, as long as you kind of have a darker color. See how I defined that? And I'm going behind, and I'm also gonna do a little bit around the wing to make it look like the wing is on top of the flower. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with pencil. So I pulled some colors. I think I'm gonna go in, actually make it a little bit more. This is like a magenta kind of fuchsia. I don't know how to describe it, but something like that. But more of like a pinky purple. So I'm gonna go in with that, I think, instead of red, as my next darkest color. And I'm going on top of the, and kind of fading it out. See that? On top of the, where the fine liner was. Okay, so that is that. And let's see, how about this pink? I'm going on top of the previous, and like this. And let's try a bit of neon. Let me get my neon pencils here. I also have neon in the Prismacolor, but whatever, these are right on my desk, excuse me. Oh, there we go, the pink, that's what I want. Let's try a little pink here, neon. Oh yeah, that brings it to the next level. So maybe I'll do it more up here. Yeah, that looks good. So I'm going to do it more of like up here on the top and fading it a little bit into that. I think it kind of gives a little pop because I already based the entire thing with that pink. So now you could experiment. You could do maybe even a little bit of yellow here. Where's my yellow? Oh, it's right here. Let me see how it looks and then I'll erase it. Let's try a little bit of yellow. Not bad, actually. What do you think? Does it add a little something? You could do without, with, whatever. You can experiment and have fun. But you see how, but the shading makes it look so much better than just the straight coloring. And now I'm gonna take a gel pen. Where are my gel pens? There we go. And what should I use? I could use one of either the metallic, but I think I'm going to use the neon. This is a neon jelly roll. These are my favorite gel pens, the jelly roll. And I'm going to cover the black lines. Now you can do this with an acrylic marker. You could do it with any gel pen that you have. Whatever you have, like a metallic gel pen, whatever. Doesn't really matter, but I'm just using this because of the neon. See how that brings it to the next level? Yeah, so if you're a beginner, you know, I got to show you my, some of my original, when I started coloring in 2015. You know, I didn't know anything. I was just straight coloring, and I only had like Crayola super tips and some gel pens. Later on, I got fine liners, and my dad gave me some Prismacolor pencils, but I just had in the beginning gel pens and Crayola Super Tips water-based markers. Okay, so as you can see here, doesn't that look so much better than just a straight coloring? Like, let me show you with the straight coloring, the difference. So look at the difference with just straight coloring and how you can really improve just by adding shading, you know, at the bottom at the crevices, and then covering the black lines. Look at what a difference. It's so easy, you guys. You can totally do it. And look at the background. It looks so much better than it did before. And all we did was outline the shapes and add some darkness to the outlines. And look what a difference it makes. So I think now I'm gonna show you a little bit of these leaves. Okay, so now we're gonna work on these leaves. I have like a very, very dark blue. It's called indigo blue. And I'm going over and adding, you know, darkness. Now, if you don't have this color, just use black. Now, this stem is behind the other one, so I'm going to do a little bit of shading here to kind of differentiate. And wherever one is going on top of the other, you're going to do shading in the one that's behind. Okay, so, and also this one is behind these petals. So I'm gonna do around the petals, okay? Let's just do this one too since we're at it, we're in this area. You see where I'm shading? Okay. Now that I did all those areas, I'm gonna go in with my, oh, one more I forgot. So whatever is behind, whatever is tucked in, whatever is more in the bottom of the page will have darker. And this is just one way of coloring, okay? This is not, you know, the be all and end all, just an idea for you guys. So now I'm taking a turquoisey kind of tealish blue. This is called cobalt turquoise in Prismacolor. And we are going like this on top of the indigo. I'm going on top of the indigo and a little bit higher. And kind of, as I go up, my hand is lighter. I'm not pressing that hard. When I'm more down here, I'm pressing harder to give it a darker color. But when I want to fade it out, you want to use like a light hand, like this. Okay, and then my final color here is light aqua. This is almost the same as the actual water-based marker, so it's not that different, but it kind of helps blend out the other colors. Now, if I wanted, let's see, if I could use a Prismacolor white. Where's my white? Hold on, I think it's in here. Yeah. Let's see, if I wanted to make it lighter, yeah. The Prismacolor white is very, very white, so you could add and make it lighter on the top there. And yeah, that looks lighter. So on the top, to create a highlight, you can add a little bit of white. Now I need to cover the black lines, but instead of using a white gel pen, I'm going to use, let's see, either a metallic or this is a pastel, kind of from the pastel side of the Jelly Rolls. Yeah, that's perfect. So I'll actually use that. Covering the black lines just gives it that extra something. You don't have to do this part. And if you don't have the pastel, you could do like a metallic. Let me show you the metallic gel pen. Also has a good effect. Okay, look at the difference between these and the straight coloring ones. You see the difference? And all we did was add pencil, you guys. Super easy. Let me just go in a little bit like this. See how easy that was? So this is an acrylic marker, and I do use straight coloring with these. But I don't use it like exclusively. I'll do it in addition to other stuff. So if I have a nice shaded element here, I'm okay with doing a little bit of a just straight coloring with the acrylic marker on an element nearby. And I think that could look really nice with the red. Pink and red go great together. Also, this is like a warm red-ish. It's more on the warmer side. And that goes great with aqua. Red looks great with aqua. So if you haven't seen my How I Choose Colors video, I will link it below if I remember. If I don't, just remind me and then I'll link it. And you see how that looks really nice next to it? Because I already have elements that are shaded. So a flat element, one or two little elements that are flat won't ruin your page. It's just gonna add a little something extra, and it's also easy and fun. So with here, I'm not gonna do any shading because that's acrylic marker. So, and then here I'll do maybe a like a sparkly gel pen, or because sparkly looks great next to flat, like acrylic. Or like maybe I'll do a metallic watercolor or something. But if you don't have any of those, don't worry. Just to do straight coloring with whatever you have, and add shading to some of the elements. For example, if you have a highlighter, you could do this in like a highlighter. That could be cool, like a yellow highlighter, and add some green shading on top. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, you guys. And I'm thinking of making it into a series, like beginner tutorial series. So if that sounds like a good idea, let me know. And I hope you enjoy your coloring this month. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm always happy to respond. I don't always respond like right that day, but I will respond, in that week. So have a wonderful coloring month, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone.